girls. For this week's reading, we're going to be reviewing a sound that we've already learned and we've practiced a lot of, although it can be kind of tricky. And I'm also going to introduce you to a sound that is a little bit newer. It's not something that we've really practiced too much in the classroom, although it does kind of follow the same pattern as some of the other words that we have been working with. So the sound that we're going to review today and for this week is this sound, okay? The name of the letter is the letter E. If we're thinking about our alphabet chant, we could say E, escalator, and we know that it makes the sound eh. And we've practiced with the shrugging of our shoulders, like saying I don't know, eh. Go ahead and make that sound for me 3 times, please. Eh, eh, eh. Okay, that is going to be the short E sound. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write a few words on the board. And I would like you just to practice trying to blend and sound them out if you're not sure. Okay, so they're all going to have the short E sound, that F sound right in the middle of them. Okay, take a few seconds, please. Go ahead and say those sounds. I'm going to do it kind of quietly because I really would like you to be practicing your blending. Net. Okay, we also can see, I know, that F sound right in the middle of the word net. Okay, same thing. Go ahead and take a few seconds, please, and try to blend that word for me. Fed. Okay, again, we can see that it has that E in the middle of it, but we hear the F sound, that short E sound. So if we're working with the short E sound, that's the sound that we've heard a lot of, and that's the sound that we've practiced up until this point in kindergarten. We're also going to be practicing the long E sound, and that's where we're talking about bossy E. So, for example, I'm going to use the bossy E with the letter that we've already learned, okay? So if I had this word, okay, my bossy E comes at the end of the word, and it's going to make this vowel say its name, okay? And then we know that we don't actually say anything when we're sounding out the E, okay? So if we're reading this word, a, cake, okay? Bossy E makes that letter A say its name, and that turns that letter A into its long A sound, okay? I know that this isn't a word, but if I was asking you to sound this word out, ack, cat, okay, that's where we would just hear that regular short A sound, the astronaut sound. But when bossy E comes at the end of a word, it changes the vowel and it makes it say its name. So if we're thinking about that with turning the E into a long E sound, this can be a little bit confusing because there aren't a lot of words that we actually spell using that same bossy E pattern. Although there are going to be some words that we hear it, we just don't necessarily see it when we spell it, okay? So if I had this, and actually a lot of the words that I'm going to be showing you are actually names. So they're going to start with an uppercase letter because it's somebody's name, okay? But here I can see that bossy E pattern. Bossy E comes at the end of the word, and it's going to make this letter here, the E, say its name. This is going to be the long E. So if I'm going ahead and I am sounding it out and blending it, I'm going to say eat, peat, okay? The bossy E changes that vowel into its long E sound, so it's going to say the E in the middle of the word. Eat, peat, okay? Similar to that can be another name. So I'm going to start it with an uppercase letter. This one is just a little bit different just because it's only 3 letters, but bossy E does still come at the end of the word. It's going to make that vowel say its name. So when I sound it out, it's Eve, Eve, okay? And I can hear that that makes the E sound, the long E sound. So what I'm going to do for you, and this is where I need you to be practicing, just like you would be if you were sitting on the rug in our classroom. Okay, so sit up nice and tall. Get ready for your thumb because I'm going to say a word and I'm going to ask that you show me a thumbs up if it is the short E And actually, you know what? I'm going to change that. I think what I'm going to do is 1 will be a short E and a 2 is going to be a long E. So if you hold up one finger, that means it's going to be a word like this one. Hen with a short E. So I'll write that underneath. Short E. If you're holding up 2 fingers, it's because you hear the E sound in it, like the name Pete. Okay? Not quite how we would do it in our classroom, but we're just changing things up just a little bit so that we can do this and you can still practice, okay? So again, if you hear the F sound in the middle of the word, you're going to hold up one finger. If you hear the E sound in the middle of the word for the long E, you're going to hold up 2 fingers. I'm going to give you some time to do it first. I know that I can't see you, but I am hoping that you're trying to do this just as really good practice. And then I'll tell you what the answer would be after a few seconds, okay? So here comes the first one, jet. Now in our classroom, we would also practice breaking it down. Jet, jet. So think about it. Do you hear short E with one finger or long E with 2 fingers? Jet. That one is going to be one finger. Jet. Jet is a short E. Okay, I hope you got that one. Here comes another. Steve. Go ahead and try to break it down. And think about it. One finger or 2 fingers. Steve. This one is going to be 2 fingers for the long E. I hear Steve. Steve. Okay, again, it's another name. Here comes another practice one. Let's do the word den, like a bear's den. Go ahead and practice breaking it down. Really listen for that middle sound in the word. D-N. Den is going to be one finger for the short E. We hear the F sound in the middle. Here comes one that it's not quite how we would spell it normally, but you still can hear a certain sound in it. Okay, so think about the word zebra. Zebra. Okay, breaking it down, you're going to have more than just 3 letters. Z, E, B, R, A. Okay, you have 5 letters, but that's okay. Do you hear the long E sound? Zebra. I sure do. Okay, that one we should hold up 2 fingers for. Let's do the word web. Web. Eb. Web has the short E sound. I hear that F sound in it. Okay, and we'll do one more. Queen. Go ahead and break it down. And go ahead and make your decision, 1 finger or 2 fingers. Queen. Queen is going to be 2 fingers for the long E sound. Okay? So this is going to be the sound that I really want you to be practicing on this week. See if you can come up with ways that you can spell the short E in words. Okay, I have a couple examples. Hen, we did web, jet, net, pet. All of those have that S sound right in the middle. Long E is a little bit harder, but you still could probably come up with words that you could just say out loud, like queen or zebra. Okay, and then again the names Pete, Eve, Steve, things like that. One more thing that I would like us just to practice, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to write a sentence on the board. I want you to be able to try to practice reading it. I know it's really hard because you're reading it off the screen, but I'd like you to practice reading it. And then there's actually going to be 3 words that are in the sentence that have either the short E or the long E. And I would like you to see if you can be a good detective and see if you can find them. So let me first go ahead and write the sentence on the board. Okay, here is my sentence. Now again, there's going to be 3 words that are in this sentence that have either the short E or the long E sound. Okay, some of the words we're probably going to have to sound out or blend because they are not sight words, but there are some sight words that are in there that we should know just really quickly, but when we're reading, okay? So I know that you don't have this in front of you on paper, so you can't really use your reading finger, but you can go ahead with me and watch me up here. Please make sure that at home you are trying to sound these words out yourselves. I am going to do it just because I have to make sure that we're moving the video along a little bit, but I really want you to be practicing like you would if you were sitting at my table during our reading groups, okay? So here we go. Pete, okay, that's a name. Pete. Went. Pete went to the vet. Okay? My whole sentence reads, Pete went to the vet. Go ahead right now, and I'm going to give you a hint. One word has the long E sound, and two words have the short E sound. So the short E I'm going to put in pink. The long E I'm going to circle in green. Okay? Go ahead and see if you can be a really good detective and see if you can hear the words that I'm going to be circling in pink because it is a short E or has a short E in it. And there is a word that has the long E sound that I'm going to circle in green. I'll read the sentence one more time, and then I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to see if you can figure out which words we're going to circle with which color, okay? Pete went to the vet. Go ahead and be a detective. Figure out which ones have the short E, which ones have the long E. Okay, you can also pause the video. That actually might be more helpful. Again, I'm learning as I go through this also. So pausing the video would be a good way to give your child, if they need more time with it than the seconds that I'm giving in between, go ahead and pause. That's going to be a good way to help your child make sure that they're engaged with it as well. Okay, so I told you that there are two words that have the short E sound in the middle. Did you find them? The first one that I found that I could hear really easily was this word down here, vet. Okay, it's a simple three-letter word. A lot of the words that we read in kindergarten look something like this. The at, vet, has that short E. Okay, it's right in the middle of the word right there, vet. The other word that has the short E sound is the one that's actually right above it. And went. Okay. And that sounds a little bit different because we have this blend at the end of it, but it definitely is not a long E. Okay. It's definitely making that F sound, more of that shoulder shrug sound. So vet and went are going to be the two words that I found that have the short E sound. The only one that's left then for the long E sound is going to be the name Pete. And because you have the sentence in front of you, you can see that the bossy E is at the end of that word, so it is going to make the letter E say its name. But if you were just listening to that name out loud, eat, you're hearing that E sound in it, okay? So Pete has a long E sound, and went and vet were my two that had short E. As you're reading stories at home or as you're practicing writing some words, down maybe for your opinion writing or for your sight word work this week, I encourage you to be on the lookout for words that have short E and the long E. Those are going to be the focus for this week. Thank you for watching this video. There are a couple of words that I am asking you to have your child practice reading posted on the calendar for the week, so please make sure that you're doing that. And again, thank you for watching. Bye, friends.